Hello everyone, it's Phil from the CanConservativeNews's News channel. This video will be on the news with the HMS Charlottetown being deployed to the Mediterranean. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the issue, on the matter of the deployment, of what I picked up in a few news stories I've been reading from CBC, Globe Mail. Yeah, I think it's actually... We've been doing these missions to the Med, to the Horn of Africa, and all these for the last number of years. Been in the Suez Canal since the 50s. Been in that area, part of the world. We have been having naval vessels in that part of the world for the better part of the last 50, 60 years. Our first peacekeeping mission for Canada was to the Suez Canal in 1956, I believe. Which basically was start of the myth that Canadians are peacekeepers. That bullshit. As you know, I don't believe that Canadians are warriors first and foremost. We are the only nation in the world that is able to do many types of missions. We may have a small force. I think our Army, our standing forces personnel right now is about 178,000, I believe in that number. I could be wrong. That's the last number I heard was 178,000 or so. But yeah, it's at the point, we're at the point right now that operationally our forces are very well equipped, or pretty much well equipped. But it's kind of hard to say really what is going on over there. I mean, Iran's rattling their saber again. North Korea's rattling their saber. China's rattling their saber. So is Russia. All at the same time, we're there. We're doing our part. Deterrence patrols. I call them deterrence patrols. Anti-piracy patrols. Anti-smuggling patrols. What do you want to call them? They're on patrol. They're deployed. Similar to them. I'm not sure what time they deployed from Halifax. But overall, I mean, our Navy is one of the most modern in the world. We're also one of the smallest navies in the world. So, I mean, I never judge nothing on size. I always judge it on level of training, level of professionalism. From what I've seen with our Navy personnel, I've known some Navy personnel, and the professionalism they have is outstanding. Our Air Force personnel, same thing. They're absolutely outstanding. Our Army personnel, same. They're outstanding. Very professional. So I mean, if the war with Iran were to happen, like I mentioned in other videos, I'll be more willing to go do my part. So I have a skill set they have. Also, background, some military training. Some military training. I mean, God, if they called me tonight to go to say, okay, we need you, I'd be okay. We're gonna have to report. I'll find a way there. Well, I'm close to the main training facility, technical training center for Canadian Forces. It's not pretty much down the road from me, about 5 kilometers down the road. So, Camp Borden, which is really for Air Force. It's actually Canada's first Air Force base, which is not really part of this video, but it's another little interesting fact. It was formed there April 1st, 1920. April May 24th, 1924 at 13:13 p.m. at Camp Borden. I know the address. I had the address somewhere. I've been in the hangar where the Canadian Air Force has been formed. I've been up to a lot of areas of the base that most people don't realize about. Benefits: I've had taxi rides in aircraft there. I've flown out of Borden a couple times, familiarization flights. Flown in a Griffin helicopter, CH-146 Griffin helicopter, which is an amazing little helicopter. It's basically a Bell 412 helicopter. But enough of that. On the mission, the deployment to the Mediterranean. Do I think it's a good idea? Yeah, we've been doing these patrols for years. First off, also, our forces we're part of NATO. This is a NATO operation, so we have to keep up with our alliance commitments to the alliance, NATO. So we have to put at least one ship, which we're doing. It might need boots on the ground or aircraft. We'll provide them if necessary. Canada should provide them if necessary. A lot of people say, "Oh, we shouldn't be doing this, sending our guys off to kill innocent people." Blah 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 blah. That's not what's going to happen. Libya, shit happened. It's called warfare. It's warfare. It's called combat. Combat's an evil, evil thing. Have I ever been in combat? No. Do I want to be in combat? Not if I could help it. I don't know what I would do, but I think I would hold my own. I would go towards the stand of fire, towards the gunfire. If I knew I had buddies that are stuck or pinned down, I would literally be going to try to get them out. I would think that. But it's one of those situations. You do not know what's going on. We don't really know what's really going on with Iran. We like to think we know it, but a lot of people I've talked to, I don't know, one of my uncles is Iranian. I have friends that are Iranian, a few friends that are Iranian. And I always, whenever I had a few minutes with a couple of my friends, one friend that was Iranian, who's actually in the Iranian army for spells and his medical corps. He's always told me that regular Iranians love Americans. So I mean, that's what he's telling me. He's telling me a bunch of stuff like, "Whoa, really? Sure? Oh, wow, that's amazing." It comes down to one thing. It comes down to brainwashing. The citizens, they don't want to be thrown in prison because they like the Americans or whatever. So they're going to go with the regime. I forgot that guy's name, Ajimabad or whatever his fucking name is. I don't really give a shit. To me, he's a nut job. He's worse than Kim Il-jong or whatever. The North Korean that just got croaked a little while ago. I mean, you know what? I always say this. I'll tell this to people, everybody. If you don't like what I have, my opinion on matters, I read history. I am very big on history. Military history. I have pretty much everything from World War I all the way up to Afghanistan. That is my area. So I mean, a lot of people say, "What?" I get this one question. It's like, I have a lot more in Korea. Actually, I'm more interested in Korea. I spent more time researching Korea because it wasn't taught in school. And I lived in Toronto a few years ago. Actually, 2008. I was walking through this bookstore downtown. I know where it is, but I forget the name of the street now. Ironically enough, it's off Yonge Street. It's off one of the smaller streets off Yonge, around Yonge and Bloor area. Actually, just around, no, not Yonge and Bloor. North of Queen, in Richmond, just north of Queen, a couple blocks north of Queen on Yonge, I believe, by the Aiden Camera locator store. Blocks and the other camera place. There's a couple stores down there. And walking through, I saw this green book on the top shelf. I'm walking down looking for another, actually looking for a different book actually at the time. I checked in that store every so often for some other books I was looking at. Was looking for, which I finally finding slowly. But when I saw this one green book, it's actually, let me just pull it out. If you can see that, Korean War, and going through it, a lot of interesting facts with the Korean War here. I did a lot of research stuff, so I did quite a bit of research on the topic. So this is the time I'm still looking at it. Canada, I forget the exact time frame, but at one point the Americans are getting their asses handed to them. Real funny, is it? Happened. One of our ships, I think it was the Athabascar, was in the area. It ran down the channel, or whatever it was, and provided cover for the Americans to retreat. Many people say, "Oh, it never happened. It never happened." Yeah, it did. Sorry to say. I have a good memory for details, interesting facts like that, so I remember them very well. Actually, there's a little bit of family thing here with us. For me, anyways, but Korea. Let's see. Major. Let's see. Justice 122. 122. Slight family thing with us. Kind of funny. Yeah. Well, actually, I have about the Canadian Navy, so it's actually talking about the video, actually. I'll read the section. I'll read a bit of the section, actually. During this period, that one of the most embarrassing incidents in Canadian history came to light. Cayuga's doctor and morale officer, Surgeon Lieutenant Joseph Sear, was a popular member of the ship's company, taking a genuine interest in their welfare and performing his medical duties quite competently. Indeed, when South Korean guerrillas sought medical help during the island campaign, Sear performed several operations during a 2-month period, ranging from amputation to gangrenous his foot to the removal of bullets from arms and elsewhere. He operated quickly, efficiently, and gave no one any reason to question his talents as a surgeon. But Sear was a fake for the great imposter cornhole movie of his life. He's actually an American named Ferdinand Waldo de Mera. Let's see. I have a feeling I'm related to this guy, the actual Joseph Sear somehow. So de Mera presented himself at a recruiting office. He was greeted with open arms. His credentials stole from the real Joseph Sear. When a New Brunswick doctor seemed real enough, so his induction was expedited, and he found himself joining Cuba days before she left for Korea. I actually think so. I mean, there's a Joseph in our family. I believe he was a doctor. I'm not 100% sure, but during this time, I mean, it could be a great uncle. Who knows? But that is a little bit interesting right there at that point. I was talking about, I'm not too sure. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, a lot of interesting facts about Korea, which is not this is not going to be about, but it goes to show you, Canadians are a warrior nation. We have a warrior background. Canada was sorry about that. Canada was basically, Canadians basically gave the U.S. their national anthem from a battle. I forget where it is. A fort in Chesapeake Bay somewhere, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we did burn down the White House in the War of 1812. People say, "Oh, it's the British that." Well, technically, we were British that time. We were a British colony. So, sorry guys. You guys have nothing. No argument there. I mean, Canadians do outstanding work. We're one of the few nations in the world that has a well-trained, well, not so well-equipped military. I had a lot of complaints about the military and its readiness with equipment-wise. As you know, I'm a big supporter of the forces, and I'll do just for anything to help the forces. I started a campaign with Tim Hortons and a lot of veterans groups and soldiers, military groups. Basically for civilians, basically what you do, you see soldier in Tim Hortons or wherever, buy them a cup of coffee, buy them a cup of coffee. It's like or tea or whatever they want. I do it all the time. So I see them in Tim Hortons. I see them. I'm like, oh, is it sir, corporal? Here you go. This is not me. I did last week or the week before. It's like captain, I believe. Lieutenant or a captain. I don't remember really his rank. But he was young. He was probably in his late 30s, mid to late 30s, I would guess. And he basically said, "No, don't." He said, "You know what? This is my thank you to you. There you go." This is at what, 5, 6 o'clock, 7, almost 6:30 in the morning, and he was kind of looking at. He said, like, "Well, it's like, you know what? You wear the uniform, the uniform of our nation. At least I can do for you." So yeah, that's one thing. A lot of people, when it comes to our military, don't realize what they think. Oh, we don't need a military. Nobody hates it. Well, you know what? That does not mean we should disband our forces. That means, really, when you think you're well liked, that's when you should be building up your forces. I mean, that might sound a little half-ass logic to many people, but you know what? It's sound logic. Let's say we build up our forces. We built up a regional force. Let's say 500,000 total force structure, force strength. Red Force Reserve. Okay. Build it up like that. So how do we break it down? Let's say we need about 300,000 for the army. That's a good size. We could do a lot more with that many troops. Excuse me. If we do in Afghanistan, like 3,000-4,000 troops at a time, not including support personnel, like supply, logistics, those type of people, those types of roles. We can do it a lot with more troops. You can do it a lot easier. Have better rest time, longer rest times for your troops. Have some of these guys, medical personnel, let's say 50,000 medical personnel, or say 25,000 medical personnel. Until that's medics, field medics, all that. Of that 25,000, counselors, psychologists, people that the troops can talk to, but the problems, whatever, would be a good thing, in my opinion. Anyways, this is not my opinion. This is only my opinion how I think it should be done. Air Force, 100,000 of operations and support. Operation, it's your pilots, and support, it's your mechanics, technicians, operations staff, etc., etc. But you can have overlap in a lot of these areas. You can have the medical personnel would be Air Force, then would be Navy, then would be Army. So you can see a lot of different things that way. So like support flight operations, like you have, but operation, your joint operation, you have naval service personnel, air service personnel, Army ground land service going together. They don't have, you basically, it's supposed to hate having, say, go back to the conglomerate type system we had back in 68. It was first came in 68, but in some ways that works well. First benefit how our structure is. But what I mean by that is, you do that, you say, okay, you have your Navy guy, your Army guy, your Air Force guy. Those three people, those three groups of people work together. So Navy, okay, we need the Navy to transport some of this heavier equipment over. Okay, boom. Okay, Army says, okay, we need Air Force to bring us in there and supply us and support us and cover us if we to come help support us when under fire by close air support. Okay, on that point, right now as it stands, the CF-18 Hornets, they're approaching 40 years old, age about 30 to 40 years old. Their frame is first out of service in 1978. So what? It's 2008 is okay. Yeah, so 34 years now. They've been in service. Well, worldwide. Canada, they've been served for 28 years. They first entered service, I believe, in 1982, and they need to be replaced. They're getting to be too old, too costly to maintain. The training the Sea Kings. I have nothing against the Hornets. They're great fighter aircraft. They do outstanding work. This getting to that point, they need to be replaced. What to replace them with? That is the question. I'm saying right now, there isn't many aircraft that can replace the Hornet. Say the Super Hornet's a good choice. It's still based on a 40-year-old aircraft design. So I mean, do the math. Do you want something based off a 40-year-old design, or do you want something fresh paper design, scratch design, right from scratch? I personally take right from scratch, but I also want something that's proven. To me, I think the F-35. I mean, people say, oh, it's a lemon of aircraft. Well, if it's not, I mean, if you look at the history of aircraft development, military aircraft development, fighter aircraft development, the Mustang, Spitfire, the Hurricane, P-38, Corsair, all had major teething issues. P-41, another one, had teething issues. But probably one of the most severe teething issues probably would have to be the F-4U Corsair, the prop, like the whistle of death. Basically, it's marine aircraft used by the Canadian Air Force, British Air Force, Royal Navy, sorry, used by Air Forces as well. It went through from its first model to its late in the war, World War II, and into Korea. It went through such a development process during World War II where it was basically all engine related. Issue is the Pratt Whitney is a brand new aircraft engine. The Pratt Whitney R1830, I believe, is the model number. There's also another one with the bigger version of the 1830. So yeah. Things happen. There's issues. It takes time to work the little bugs out. Especially now with computers, more computerized. And you have a lot more issues with electronic stuff. So I mean, another aircraft that had teething issues, I should say, modern aircraft would be the F-16 Falcon, as well as the F-15. They both had some serious teething issues as well, but yet they turned out to be such great fighter aircraft. The F-16 was more a flight control issue, that it's fly-by-wire, fully electronic, whereas the F-18, the CF-8, the Hornet, it's basically a hybrid fly-by-wire. It's a mix of the conventional and with the fly-by-wire. So, yeah, if you don't understand aviation technology, you should be commenting on issues, topics like what a lemon aircraft is or whatever. You read reports from some of these people that are naysayers of the program. Well, yeah, we're not getting the F-22, guys. Sorry to burst your bubble, we're not. It's a great little aircraft, but I don't think it's right for Canada. I don't really think the F-35 is either, but out of what I see, I've checked out the other aircraft. I've been in development the last 10 years, since 2000, late 90s or into new millennium, and there isn't many suitable aircraft other than maybe 2 or 3, including the F-35. But you gotta remember, the F-35. People gotta remember with the F-35, you have there's 3 different versions. You have the A model, the B model, and the C model. One is the A model's Air Force model, and the other 2 are Navy Marine models. One's vertical takeoff, one's not. They all have stealth technology, yes. Does Canada need stealth? No, not really. Is it nice to have item? Yes, it is. Why? Well, you can go you can do base interdiction missions with internal stores. Everybody says, oh, drop tanks, drop tank range, and all this. You know what? The range of the F-35 and the F-18 actually is very similar. If you look at the specs, I get specs from a few friends of mine in the States who know the program. They basically, that's the range stuff. I asked them a couple questions. They gave me the non-classified stuff. Helped me with the non-classified information. And so, I mean, it's kind of funny, and people don't realize the range is only about under 100 nautical miles shorter than the Hornet, I believe, or vice versa. I don't remember. It's been a while since I looked at the specs. But overall, I think both the F-35, if it's allowed to grow through the teething issues it's having right now, it would be I think it would be a great aircraft. Any new aircraft's not issues. The A380 had issues. The 787's having issues. Boeing, every aircraft I know in modern history has had some type of teething issues. So I mean, you're not getting away from that. So I got a little off sidetrack there, sorry, but our military is gonna. I mean, our Navy is actually one of the best in the world training-wise. We have very advanced ships. Our fleet is very advanced. So we spend money on the technology. We need new ships. I agree. Well, we do need new naval vessels. We need new combat vessels for Navy, as well as the Air Force, and as I was talking about. Also, what most people do not realize about our military is they're very underappreciated. Nobody appreciates them as really. I appreciate them because I respect them. I work with some retired guys. Okay, I know a lot of the guys have been in the forces for. My family's been military. I couldn't join the forces due to I want to try the force right out of school. A lower back, a back issue, basically didn't allow me to join the forces. I didn't get the medical, so it's like sucks. But I couldn't pass the physical at the time. That was like 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago now. No, let's say 7, 8 years ago I tried, and I didn't get past the physical due to my lower back issue I have, and back issue. So I mean, am I upset? No, it's like not a problem. I brought it. It's like I wanted to go. It's like, well, medically you don't qualify. Medical reasons. It's like, okay. They gave me the reason. That's it. I accept it. It's like, it sucks. I told them it sucks, but you know what? I don't want to be burned to anybody in overseas on deployments. Like, I don't want anybody in jeopardy for me. And so I made the call. Saying, you know what? I'm not going to. I told them, let's stop the pain up. It doesn't bother me, but other than that, also the PT, my knee, blew my knee out years ago. Actually, I blew it out a few years before, so it was still kind of tender, still gives me issues now. But on that point, I understand the military mindset. You have to understand that. A lot of people don't. No, these guys are doing it for love of country. They're serving their country. That's what they sign up for. Their part of their job is to be deployed on operations. That's why they join. I was joined just basically because it's the right thing to do. I still think that's the right thing to do. I mean, a lot of people don't realize the military is there for you. I mean, who's the first? And let's say a flood situation or natural disaster. Who are among the first people there in support roles, helping you guys out? The police, fire, yeah, they're there. Also, if you look at the reserve units in some of these areas, they're there pretty quickly. One snowstorm years ago in Toronto, where the army came out to dig the city out of the snow. Another point, Red River. That situation. A lot of situations in the army helps out at home. Okay, been in Afghanistan for over almost 10 years now. Over 10 years now, and they're doing a good job. I mean, they're now in more of a training role. They're not more of an active combat role. They're still going to combat, but they're in an act. They're not active combat. They're more of training, but they're still going to combat, still in harm's way, doing their job, doing what they're paid to do. Okay, and I give these guys credit. I'm gonna go talk about a story for me from a few years ago, and about what happened. I was going to work, so I was like, I stopped and get a coffee on the way to work. I was there early enough that it was still open, and we picked up to go into work. And this one gentleman was doing Remembrance Day. He was there doing the poppy drive, and I was like. And I mean, I've never seen any one of these veterans that I meet during the Remembrance Day poppy drives breaking out in tears over what I said to them. I said, "Thank you for your service. Do you want me? I'm going to get a coffee. Do you want me to get you something?" Actually, I said no. I just walked. I walked into the corner of the saw. I'm like, okay. Get black, couple creams, couple sugars, or whatever it is. So I walked. I basically, here you go, sir. Have coffee. And he basically broke out. He basically broke down. He was because a kind gesture to this person meant, I guess it meant so much to them. Somebody wasn't saying, calling him baby killer or whatever, and said thank you to him for a simple thing like that. That's just one of the many stories. I have another one I'm going to mention. I remember I was actually going to meet somebody in downtown Toronto. It was same time, the underground concourse downtown. Walking across, see a ladies' auxiliary doing the poppy drive as well. I started playing. I said, "Man, do you want a tea or something, or coffee or tea?" It's like, a tea. It's like, okay, 1 minute, we'll grab you one. So I went around the corner. There's a little stand, little coffee shop. Around, so I just went there. So okay, can I get a coffee and get a tea? For wherever, I forget where it was now. And I basically brought her back to her. She was like, and she was it was like. No, but she kept her composure. She didn't start breaking down. She, for her generation, and she said, "Thank you." It's like, no problem, ma'am. You see, gestures like that, that's what you give to the troops, the veterans. Buy them a coffee, buy them a tea, buy them something, like a coffee or a tea. That's basically giving a sign of respect for them. Okay, I do it all year. Actually, I do it all year round. But I'm more keen, I should say. I'm more active with it from Remembrance Day. I try to be more active from Remembrance Day. So I mean, a lot of people don't get that. They say, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?" Well, it's the right thing to do. It says thank you. They're not going to be around much longer. Some of these guys and ladies and gentlemen are not going to be around much longer. But and I know a lot of them have a really sour outlook on the world stage now, on society. I mean, I'm trying to get them changed. Like, look, society isn't going downhill; it's going back uphill for you. I'm trying to say, no, not everybody's like this. But what you think? There's some of us that are brought up right that will go out of their way to help you if you ever need help. I mean, I have two neighbors. I'm always thinking about those two guys that are here. These two veterans I know, and I'm always concerned for them. And they're really nice people. I mean, they're nice guys. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I have absolute utmost respect for veterans. What they did. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people do not understand a lot of shit that goes on. The shit they went through. What they served in World War II or Korea, or in my uncle's case, Vietnam. Yes, Canada was in Vietnam. We had a small force of 4,000 troops in Vietnam. So that's a lot of the issues people don't get. Is we were in Vietnam. People say, "Oh, we weren't in Vietnam. We weren't in Vietnam. Oh, thank God." Whatever, 200% of Vietnam. Well, we were in Vietnam. We're not in an active combat role. We're more of in a support role, logistics role. Back on HMS deployment to the Mediterranean is a good thing. I think it is. I don't think it's part of Iran or any sneaky thing or whatever. I mean, it's a routine operation, routine or deployment. That's all it is. I mean, yeah. Should we be there? I think we should. If we call on to go for the, I think that Iran starts raising shit, do you think we should go? I think, well, yeah, we should be there. Part of our commitments, our alliance commitments with NATO. I mean, people don't agree with that. I say, well, you know what? There's nothing sinister going on here, people. It's just how it is. It's life. Deal with it. These guys sign up to do a job. They're doing their job. You don't like that? Too effing bad for you. I'm actually going to call it. We're almost at 37 minutes now, so a couple more minutes. I'll try to go to about 40 minutes. I try to keep videos short, but who knows? I'm long-winded. I know. Oh, if I get to other topics, you guys probably know gun control. Yeah, you're screwed. It can go on for hours. Yeah. But yeah, it's getting to the point where we need this. How the world is today. Gotta remember, how the world is today is, well, it's a bad, evil place. We have to do things. It's not warmongering or whatever you want to fucking call it. It's just fact of life. The world's a bad place. Not due to Americans, not due to British, but for all these lock jobs in the Middle East, for the most part. Yeah, we have to do things. Make the hard calls. Nice. Deploy to the Med. We have to deploy troops. Who knows? Plus, a Navy vessel is actually, somebody said it perfectly earlier in the Globe Mail. A naval ship, a vessel, is the best way to deploy forces without putting boots on the ground. It kind of says, it sends a message. Naval vessel sends a message. Short of putting boots on the ground. Or aircraft overhead. Over their heads. So I thank everybody for watching. You guys have a good night. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Bye.